Three men who were shot near the University of Chicago hospital this morning. And late last night, a 26-year-old man was killed while walking down East 21st Street near Michigan Avenue.
I was walking my dog at the dog park across from the Marriott by like 320 East 21st over there, and I heard like at least 15 clear gunshots.
I'd like to start off to talk about the violence over the 4th of July weekend. This past Friday, I was in Greater Grant Crossing for an Operation Wake Up that we hosted for a community that was grieving the loss of two mothers and an 8-year-old. Also, two other children who were shot and fighting for their lives. What I will tell you is that the Chicago Police Department, we're putting forth every effort to deal with this level of violence. What we have to understand is that when we're looking at this type of violence, we look at celebratory days of the year, the 4th of July and other days like it. We have to really stop and think about the mindset of someone who will shoot a child, a helpless child, an unarmed mother, and think that that's okay, and go about their days. Those people have to be taken off the street. They have to be put away. If we're not doing that, then we're failing other families. We're failing people in our city. Chicago Police Department is going to do everything that we possibly can in coordination with the mayor's office, with Deputy Mayor Gary and Gatewood, and the Office of Public Safety. What we want to do is make sure that we provide all the services that we can, but we also want to prevent this type of behavior. But the only way to do that is to apprehend those who are doing it, these types of crime, and then to hold them accountable, keep them off the street so that they can't do it again. We cannot bring back these children. If we want to avoid having these types of press conferences and these types of meetings again, we need every single person to step up. We need people to start coming forward. We need people to take responsibility. Help us help you.
Okay. Hey everybody, hope y'all having a good day or night wherever you are. Now I do these videos to show the consequences and downfalls involving crime in the community. Now this story is about the crime in Chicago over the 4th of July weekend that's been going on for years and years. But this time, the mayor of Chicago has spoken out and he said, enough is enough. Let's go. The 4th of July for a lot of people in the community is a day to celebrate, shoot some fireworks, put some meat on the grill, hang with your family, and listen to some music and enjoy the day. But in Chicago, it hit a little different. Like FYBJ Main say, do your homework. Chicago has been known for crime and violence for years to come. And this 4th of July was no different, because over 100 people were shot and 19 was killed. And this is an ongoing thing with the rising crime in Chicago, but all over the world and communities everywhere. Now this time though, you had multiple people that were shot. You got rappers, but you also had innocent people to lose their life as well. A mom, a sister, and even a little boy.
Somebody just grabbed a hold of my heart and didn't let it go.
Apparently begins with broken trust.
For him to be in his home and for this to happen to him, this is somebody that he had to trust.
Now a family is left broken after police discovered Melvin Hill shot multiple times overnight Sunday on his kitchen floor inside of his apartment on Central near West End in South Austin.
rich friends, all we do is win.
The 36-year-old father was an aspiring musician and fashion designer and became one of 19 people killed over the holiday weekend, according to Chicago police. From midnight July 3rd through 11:59 p.m. July 7th, 109 people total were shot across the city.
You can hear the pain in their voices.
We really want to send a message to Chicago. Let's stop it.
Spilling out in a community rally at 71st Place and Woodlawn, where Thursday morning a barrage of gunfire tore through this Grand Crossing home.
I would never in my life in a million years would think that I would see my mom laying down the way she was.
And leaving 19-year-old Frank Mixon rushing from the basement to find his mother, Nikisha Strong, his little brother, 7-year-old Bryson Orr, and his cousin, Capri Edwards, shot and killed in what police say was a targeted attack stemming from an earlier incident that's still under investigation.
I didn't know when my last time was with them. I thought I had years. I don't have nobody to call when I need to spend time with my mother. I don't have anybody like that anymore.
When he got upstairs, he says he found Edwards shielding her 1-year-old baby from the gunfire. Her 2 other young sons, he says, were also shot and remain critically hurt in the hospital.
I don't know why somebody would come in the house and shoot somebody with a kid in their hand.
But in the wake of such a tragedy, there's a glimmer of hope with the city's Operation Wake Up rally aiming to do just that.
The best thing you can do for this community is turn them people in.
This is very sad, people, but condolences to their family during this difficult time. Can you imagine? In 4 days, over 100 people shot and 19 killed. Now this is 18-year-old Ashurian Hogan, known as rapper Lutskoon 89. He was also a part of the 19 killed in these 4 days in Chicago, or aka Chirac. Now, like most teenage rappers that's growing up in these communities, they rap about going on drills, shooting, carrying guns, and spinning the block.
Just me and my niggas. Don't hang with no rush, play with us, you cook no bap. I hang with them killers. His first time was fast, she really splashing. Now you can't take no pictures. Her friends popped out, they trying to get lit off weed pills and all the liquor.
Now, when crimes like these happens, one thing about the streets, they get to talking. And allegedly people are saying that Lutskoon 89 was backdoored and set up. But it appears that Lutskoon felt someone right and kind of knew he didn't have no real friends. Now, his social media page allegedly has been taken over by his mother. And she had reposted this. He had said on June 19th, I ain't trying to die right now. I don't even got 6 friends that's going to carry my casket. And his mom wrote the caption, your family got you, baby. Then she went on to say this. Hi, everyone. I'm Mama Skoon. All the laughs and jokes I accept because me and my baby had talks about this. He wasn't afraid, but one thing for sure, my baby called before he left saying he ain't feel right. Niggas acting weird. 11 minutes later, this happened. Everyone not your friend. Everybody not happy for you. I love you, son. Because, like they say, he was backdoored, allegedly. And she is saying that before this happened, he called her. It was like something ain't right. And then 11 minutes later, Lutskoon will be shot and killed. Now, on social media, on his mom page, she just looked like the type that's like to have fun, turn up with her friends, and just enjoy her life. Rest in peace to Lutskoon, and condolences to his family and his mother during this difficult time. These are the consequences and the downfalls choosing the street life. There's only two ways it's going to end: dead or in jail. But according to Lil School's mom, he basically knew what he signed up for. And she had talked with him knowing that he was in the streets. So she acknowledged him that, hey, may not be the path I wanted my son to go down, but that's the path he chose, and it is what it is. Now, crime like this in Chicago has been going on for years. Even spilling over to other states and cities. There's crimes everywhere. Down south, out west, Midwest, East Coast. It's happening everywhere in all these communities. And it's more increasing with these generation, these teenagers getting guns, they sliding, allegedly setting people up, spinning the block. And they don't even care. But then when they end up getting locked up, then they crying for their mom, want to get out, not realizing that they're throwing their life away. There's so much out there to do. Go get a job. Go find a way to make some money. But that's not what they're doing these days. But now, the mayor of Chicago has had enough, and he had this to say during the press conference.
Over 100 people have been shot in this city. 19 people have been killed this holiday weekend. But these are not just numbers on pages. These are not just headlines in the news. No. These are our fellow Chicagoans. They're our neighbors, family members who've lost their lives. These are 19 families whose lives are forever altered. And 19 families who woke up this morning without a son, without a daughter, without a mother, without a father, without an aunt, without an uncle. Over 100 people whose lives will never be the same. Whose next chapter in life is recovery and healing from this violence. These 100 people are members of families and communities, numbering in the thousands, who are also feeling the devastation and the impact of the incessant violence in the city of Chicago. I know all too well how this shows up, as I've often encountered the trauma in my classroom with my former students after a violent and horrific weekend. As a father raising a family on the west side of Chicago, this violence we are seeing, it's very close to home. This violence plaguing our community, it is deeply personal. This is not about just simply tallying our pain. This violence that happened this weekend did not happen in a vacuum, however. No, it didn't. We are standing here today talking about a violent weekend because of generations of disinvestment and deep disenfranchisement in the exact communities where so much of the violence is taking place. But we are here to say emphatically that this is enough. It's enough. When this reckless violence ravages across our city at this magnitude, we are losing a piece of the soul of Chicago. It deeply pains me to admit that, but it is true. But I will not stand idly by. We will not be passive in this moment. We need to ensure that we are holding every single individual accountable for the pain and trauma and the torment that they have caused in this city. And there will be consequences. There will be consequences for the violence. We will not let criminal activity ruin and harm our city. And I know that our Chicago Police Department is working nonstop to catch those who have committed these heinous crimes. We also need to double down on our efforts to get guns off our streets. When a 16-year-old has access to an AK-47, the violence began well before that weapon reached the hands of young people across this city and across this country. And right now, our streets are filled with illegal guns. It is far too easy in Chicago to go out and get an illegal gun. This has to change. And I know our federal partners at the Crime Gun Information Center will continue to work hand in glove with the Chicago Police Department to track crime guns and hold people who are choosing to wreak havoc on my streets accountable. And finally, I want to announce that I have personally taken steps to ensure that our city is getting all of the resources that it needs from the federal government. And prior to this weekend, my administration took the necessary steps to prepare for what has been historically violent weekends by making sure that we are coordinating the coverage with Chicago Police Department, community violence intervention, all the professionals in these areas of expertise to make sure that we are addressing the higher levels of violence that tends to take place during the holidays. And last month, I called on our federal partners to respond to the mass shootings in the city of Chicago. And I've called upon them to respond to the mass shootings like we've experienced in Chicago, just like they do in other places in this country. And I'm hopeful that our ongoing discussions will ensure that our state partners, as well as our federal partners, will swiftly come to the support of the city of Chicago. The city cannot afford to wait any longer. The full force of government is activated to step up to stop the violence, and we need more support. And I know that the Chicago Police Department and all of our brave officers will be stepping up to stop this violence. They are already working around the clock to keep our city safe. And I know that our community partners, the philanthropic community, the business community, our faith leaders are all going to step up and work together to stop this violence. We need more of that. We need our entire city to step up in this moment. I'm urging all of you across the entire city to step up to say that we've had enough, to step up to stop this vicious cycle of violence. We all play a role because we are all members of these communities. Our city needs each and every one of us to lean and look out for our neighbors, to look out for our children, look out for our communities. But let me be clear. Let me be emphatically clear. This is a choice. It's a choice to kill. It's a choice to kill women, a choice to kill children, a choice to kill the elderly. And these are choices that the offenders made and they calculated. And I'm here to say emphatically that we have had enough of it. We will be working closely with our state's attorney, Chicago Police Department, and every area of government to partner to ensure that we bring swift justice and that we provide at least a piece of closure for the families.
You know, all over the world with crimes and stuff like this happening in communities, it's the same old repetitive speech over and over again from city officials. This needs to stop. We had enough. But the thing about it is, we all know there are people who commit crimes and not just shooting and killing. We're talking about people who are doing crimes like breaking in homes and all kind of stuff. Everybody get burned. They be on the street the next day. Some of the people who commit crime, shooting and stuff, be walking free for years. Still doing the same thing. So at the end of the day, it's more to just getting the guns out of these young kids' hands. There's a lot of stuff that has to change. Now the community asking them to turn people in, that's a lot to ask for because people don't feel safe. If they can see somebody else who shot one of their loved ones or shot somebody they know and that person walking free, they don't feel comfortable turning nobody in. That's just how the game goes in the streets. But y'all get in the comments and tell what y'all think. Don't forget but y'all get in the comments and tell what y'all think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share this video. Holla.